Sunday in the Park with George is based on the painting A Sunday Afternoon on the Island of Grande Jatte by Georges Seurat, and it is a fictionalized version of the events leading up to the final painting of the picture. Act 2 jumps 100 years into the future to 1984, which was the year that the show was originally written and produced on Broadway, and it takes elements from Act 1 and expands on them. I think that this show is probably on the bucket list of any director, especially a director who works in musical theater. This show just speaks so clearly and so poignantly to anyone, not just artists, but anyone who has ever had a passion in their life for something. The show is all about finding that balance between your passion, either for your art or whatever that is, and your personal life. TheatreWorks was founded by David Woe, and he was a Sondheim aficionado, and he absolutely loved this musical, Sunday in the Park with George. I never knew David, but according to the lore of TheatreWorks, Sunday in the Park with George was always his bucket list show, and he always wanted to have it done at this theater, and they just needed to wait until they had the appropriate space and the resources to do the show and do it right. And now, finally, in its 31st season, we are making that dream come true for David Woe. One thing I love most about directing is when I have the pleasure to work with smart actors. And I'm so thrilled that in this production, I don't just have, one or two, but I promise you every single person in this production, all 15 cast members, are really smart singing actors. And I like to come into a rehearsal with, ideas and a trajectory of what I want that scene to be, or that moment, or that song to be. But I always like to start my rehearsals with table work, where we sit down and we either read through the scene or discuss the song and bounce ideas back and forth off of each other. And the thing that I enjoy and that I relish the most about directing is when I have a smart actor in the room to bounce these ideas off of. And like I said, every single person in this cast is a brilliant, smart actor. So the things that I have discovered about this show, just by asking questions of them, or stating an idea or a thought, and then having them marinate with it, and then think of something else, and then ping pong that off of another actor, it's just been an absolute thrilling experience, and I can't wait for us to share it with an audience. So the first show I directed at TheatreWorks was Ragtime in 2013. Last season I directed City of Angels, and 2 seasons ago I directed Follies, which is also by Stephen Sondheim. If you came to Follies and enjoyed Follies, then I promise you will love Sunday in the Park with George. It's another Stephen Sondheim musical. We're doing it with a full orchestra right here on the main stage. There's so many similarities between the two shows. So many of the themes can be carried over from one show to the other. And I honestly think that Stephen Sondheim is our modern day living Shakespeare, and that nothing else, no one else's work can match his. So if you enjoyed Follies, you'll definitely love Sunday in the Park with George.